And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Jacob Bergman, who asked the question, who wouldn't fight, Wolverine or Tigress from Kung Fu Panda? It's pretty actually simple for me to think who wins on this, because when we break it down, you'll kind of see what the problem ultimately is with the matchup. Tigress is a tiger. I don't believe actually she's a Bengal tiger, because she is in China. There is a Chinese species of tiger. I think that that's generally extinct. Hold on. Oh, yeah, species, South China tiger. Okay. So, as a female South China tiger, and as an adult, South Chinese tiger, her size, she's most likely in the range of 94 inches tall, because she stands upright, so you can make the length measurement about that. Weighing roughly about 254 pounds. Length of the tail does not usually exceed 1/2 of the body's length. Doesn't really matter there. So that's what your general size parameters for Tigress is. And as one of the Fearsome Five, she is a master of her own respective style, as each member is an animal that has a fighting style that is also that animal. Mantis is the Mantis style. Monkey is Monkey Kung Fu. She is the Tiger style. Now, Tiger style Kung Fu. I'm not particularly familiar with Tiger style Kung Fu, but I know of Tiger style Kung Fu, but I'm not expert, to be fair. Tiger style Kung Fu, though, is a combat level martial art taught at Imperial Combat Arts School in Denver, Colorado. At least where they're getting here. It's a legendary martial art known for its toughened hand weapons, incredible power, and sheer ferocity. Imperial Tiger is a massive, complete martial art with the highest level. So, they're talking about Imperial Tiger Kung Fu here. But General Tiger Kung Fu as well is still basically similar to that. It's just this is like the advanced version of it. It's a very fierce, very fast style, and a very aggressive style. And she packs the power of a tiger behind that as well, an actual tiger. Okay, that's great. And we saw become the third movie she could use chi to a very minor extent. Very minor. She was not like Po, or even Master Shifu, or Oogway, or anything like that. James Howlett, or Logan, was born in the late 1800s. He is well beyond older than he looks. He ages very slowly. His main mutation, obviously, was his healing factor, but he has a number of minor mutations that come with that. Very animal-like mutations, enhanced senses, a feral nature, obviously the berserker rage when he gets hurt enough, or his mind just has snaps, he can go into a just complete unadulterated rage. And he had the keratin bone claws that he was actually, that was part of his mutation, which were strong enough to cut through things like stone and a lot of metals on their own. He is just naturally in kind of like peak performance because his healing factor just, gets rid of toxins, and because he kind of just works out naturally on his own. So he's at peak peak physical condition. He has also studied dozens of martial arts. He's a master martial artist. He's actually, one thing that really is underplayed about Wolverine is just how smart Wolverine actually is. He's not like a Reed Richards or a Tony Stark or anything like that. But in terms of actual intelligence, I believe, as they said, Beast once put it, when they put him through a simulation, Wolverine's mind during the simulation training was like an Olympic level athlete doing like 3D, like playing 4 different 3D chess games at once. Like Grandmaster style chess games. Like, Wolverine's actually a very intelligent individual. Genius, not in the traditional sense, not like in a mathematical or scientific sense, but in terms of like knowing how to fight, knowing how to read people, knowing how to, tell a lie, because he can smell a lie. He literally can smell a lie. Strategizing. Wolverine is a very intelligent guy. And that isn't even including the adamantium that got added to his skeleton, obviously, during the Weapon X years. Obviously, adamantium is one of the strongest elements in the Marvel Universe. There's only a couple elements that really exceed it. And even then, it's very hard to destroy adamantium even with those elements. I know that Uru metal, in theory, can damage adamantium. But that's secondary adamantium. There are also different levels of adamantium, how strong they are. Wolverine has pretty much like the good stuff in him. He's got the strongest stuff in him. Vibranium, particularly Antarctic vibranium, that can actually, break down the structure of metals that can damage adamantium. The cap shield, which is a mix of vibranium and iron, is stronger than adamantium as well. Uh, but I mean, really, it's one of those things where you'd be hard pressed to find anything outside like magic or molecular manipulation, anything like that, reality warping, that could do anything to Wolverine's skeleton. And because of that, he's nigh indestructible at that point. Like you'd be hard pressed to destroy the man. He got blown up by nitro, and because his brain was okay, still was able to regenerate from that. He never has to sharpen his claws because they never dull, pretty much. Now there have been instances later on in his life where the claws eventually did like start to rust off or snap off due to like just age and wear and tear. But other than that, though, like besides that, and that's only in certain storylines. Like even Old Man Logan, like his claws were still fine. So yeah, Wolverine is a expert combatant, expert tracker, like a soldier, a warrior, samurai. Man knows how to fight with all sorts of weapons. So, and you're basically saying, okay, this tiger knows martial arts and is anthropomorphic. Surely she'll beat him, right? Well, and to be fair, Wolverine has lost in straight fights to other martial artists in the Marvel Universe, sure. I think he can fight individuals like Shang-Chi and Iron Fist, Danny Rand, to like a standstill, but he's not superior to them. And Tigress is certainly not superior to them as well. Ultimately, it is just the fact that she would honestly tire herself out trying to put Wolverine down because she has no ability that is really well tailored to putting Wolverine down. This isn't like if I were to put Poe against Wolverine. Poe actually has some abilities that could pose a problem to Wolverine, particularly his manipulation of chi, and the ability to send people to the spirit realm. But Tigress doesn't have any of that. And I still argue Wolverine might be able to beat him because unlike like in the Danny Rand versus Poe fight in Death Battle, Wolverine's claws could actually pierce Poe. So when he punches Poe and says like, what? That'd be a problem. And this is the same problem here, is that Wolverine not only has the claws, but he's also got the age, experience, and skill to match and exceed Tigress. So it's basically, what if Wolverine fought a tiger who could stand on two legs and use martial arts? Wolverine is still going to beat that tiger. I mean, it would, and I don't, here's the thing, these two are probably characters that would actually wind up on the same side of their conflict, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about if they met in a fight. And if they met in a fight, Tigress would probably most likely be the aggressor. Well, Wolverine could be the aggressor too. If Tigress is the aggressor, she comes in, Wolverine most likely can dodge. She's got great reflexes as he can tag speed of sound movers. And, he would eventually, come and swipe the claws, and it would be a little back and forth, boom, 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 but ultimately he would gain the upper hand. If he's the aggressor, especially if he's in like a berserker rage, she's got nothing that can put this guy down. The best she could hope for is to maybe like knock some like debris down and knock him out. And even then, knocking Wolverine out takes an extreme amount of force. Like you need like super strength, and then clock him right in the head and hope you don't break your hand on his head. So yeah, ultimately, it's Wolverine. I feel like this is it's pretty much a non-starter on this one. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm willing to hear an argument for why Tigress would win, but when you really break down the fact that most likely, how many Wolverine's martial arts style? Hold on. How many styles does Wolverine know? I know he knows ninjutsu. He knows Bushido, that's the way of the samurai. Wolverine martial arts styles. Wolverine martial arts. Okay. Wolverine is self-taught in the art of Bujinkan, popularly known as ninjutsu. He spent most of his childhood in the first. He claims to have shown enough stealth to sneak up on a deer just so he could touch it. Wolverine also taught Psylocke ninjutsu. Yes, that's all well and good. But what about everything else he knows? Because we know for a fact he knows other things. Okay. All of Wolverine's secret fighting styles, they ranked him. He knows Krav Maga. Krav Maga is not something you want to screw with. He's really efficient. Utilizes combat of takedowns, chokeholds, throws, takedowns, armed and unarmed opponents. Add on with adamantium, and you got a guy who's extremely dangerous. Savate, which is a French martial art technique developed in the streets of Paris. Originally in self-defense, it gains tremendous influence and popularity in the 21st century. Savate is graceful technique. In a nutshell, it's French kickboxing. But unlike Muay Thai, elbows and knees are not allowed in this art. Fortunately, Wolverine knows many other techniques that help compensate for that. Buchikan, which is basically, like we said, ninjutsu. Kyosho Jitsu. Kyosho Jutsu is based on the principle of pressure points. That's right, Wolverine's a pressure point user, so that would actually pose a problem as well. That actually is a really good analogy because that's what, not Kai, the other guy, the Snow Leopard, who was the villain in the first one, he used pressure points as well, and he was able to beat Tigress. So that's pretty good, pretty solid right there. Aikido, that one's a pretty basic one. A lot of people know about Aikido. It is all about using the opponent's movement's momentum against them, basically. Yeah, and there you go. And that's the rough bit of what Wolverine actually knows in terms of his martial arts. He knows more than that, too. Like, obviously, he knows how to just fight straight on to boxing. He knows that. So you combine all that with over a century's worth of experience, an unbreakable skeleton, a healing factor, animal-like senses, enhanced physicality. Yeah, Tigers don't stand a chance. But that is just my opinion. That's just my opinion. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments below. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you want to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.